Power. It's a word that ignites fear, ambition, and mystery. We see it in boardrooms and battlefields, in the whispered alliances of politics, in the quiet manipulations of relationships, and even in the subtle hierarchies of friendships. But what exactly is power? Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power doesn't just define power, it unmasks it. Drawing from over 3,000 years of human history, Greene pulls from the lives of Machiavelli, Sun Tzu, Queen Elizabeth I, Talleyrand, Napoleon, and countless others to reveal how power is acquired, protected, lost, and wielded. Each law is a distilled lesson from the blood-soaked pages of history, and each is a warning or a weapon, depending on how you choose to use it. This is not a book for the naive or faint-hearted. Greene doesn't sugarcoat the truths of ambition and dominance. Instead, he speaks in the language of strategy, where morality often takes a backseat to mastery. But whether you're an aspiring leader, an artist navigating the politics of fame, a corporate climber, or simply someone who doesn't want to be manipulated, these laws serve as both offense and defense. In this audiobook-style deep dive, we'll journey through each of the 48 laws, not as mere bullet points, but as unfolding stories. Each law will be unpacked with historical context, psychological insight, and real-world implications. Let's begin with the first 12 laws. Consider this your first step into the inner sanctum of human ambition. Number 1. Never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel superior. If you make them appear more brilliant than they are, you will attain the heights of power. If you outshine them, you will fall. This law is rooted in a fundamental psychological truth. Those in power are deeply insecure. Even the most confident-seeming leaders harbor fears of being eclipsed. When a subordinate appears more competent or charismatic, it triggers envy and paranoia. Instead of being rewarded, you may be punished. Greene illustrates this with the fate of Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister of Louis XIV. Fouquet hosted a lavish party meant to honor the king, but its extravagance backfired. The Sun King saw it as an insult, a demonstration of power that rivaled his own. Fouquet was arrested and spent the rest of his life in prison. His mistake? Outshining the master. In corporate settings, many rising stars fall because they make their superiors feel threatened. Learn the subtle art of making your boss look good, even when your ideas drive the success. Law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends are more likely to betray you out of emotion. Enemies, on the other hand, have more to prove. Use both, but trust neither blindly. Friendship brings emotion, and emotion clouds judgment. Friends expect favors, often without merit. When hired or promoted, they may grow entitled or resentful. Enemies, on the other hand, are cautious, calculating, and often more loyal once converted because they have something to prove. Greene tells the story of Michael III of Byzantium, who replaced his loyal friend with an old enemy, Basil. Basil eventually proved indispensable and became the emperor. In business, a former rival who becomes an ally may offer more value than a longtime friend. Friends may feel they deserve loyalty without performance. Enemies must earn their place. Law number 3. Conceal your intentions. Keep people off balance and in the dark. If they don't know what you're up to, they can't prepare a defense. This law is about misdirection and mystery. Transparency is not always a virtue. Too much honesty makes you predictable and vulnerable. Greene compares this to a magician's trick. Once people see the mechanism, the magic vanishes. Cardinal Richelieu was a master of concealment, never revealing his true plans and outwitting rivals with a maze of half-truths and diversions. When negotiating or planning, avoid tipping your hand. The less others know about your intentions, the more control you retain. Law number 4. Always say less than necessary. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish or give away information. Words can trap you. In conversation, silence creates mystery and force. A few well-placed words carry more weight than a torrent. Louis XIV was notorious for his silence. His few statements were so rare, they seemed oracular. In meetings or disputes, resist the urge to fill silence with chatter. Say less, and people will fill in the gaps with their imagination, often granting you more depth and influence than you possess. Law number 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. With it, you can intimidate and win. Without it, you are vulnerable. A single rumor can destroy you. Reputation precedes action. It sets the stage before you even arrive. Greene tells of Caesar Borgia, who built a reputation for ruthless efficiency, making enemies surrender before conflict began. In the digital age, a damaged reputation can spread at light speed. Monitor your name online, control your narrative, and act swiftly against slander. Law number 6. Court attention at all costs. Obscurity is death. Make yourself visible, stand out, and never let yourself be forgotten. Greene draws on the lives of showmen like P.T. Barnum, who knew that controversy or spectacle, even negative, was better than being ignored. Being remembered, even infamously, is a kind of power. Personal branding, social media presence, and strategic self-promotion are essential tools in modern life. Don't hide in talent alone, market yourself. Law number 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Use the skills, time, and energy of others to advance your own goals and make it seem like you did the work. This law may sound parasitic, but it reflects how power often functions. Greene cites Thomas Edison, who was not the sole inventor of many technologies attributed to him. He had teams of researchers, but took the credit, and with it, the power. Leverage your network. If someone can do a task better or faster, use their output strategically. Just ensure the final credit consolidates your image. Law number 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When you force others to act, you are in control. When you chase, you surrender power. This is a law of initiative. By setting the terms, laying the trap, or offering bait, you dictate the pace and shape of the interaction. When you go to others, you're reacting. Greene gives examples from warfare where generals who chose the battlefield won before the first arrow flew. In negotiations, never be too eager. Create demand for your presence. Position yourself as the prize. Law number 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Words rarely change minds. Actions do. Demonstrate your value through deeds, not debate. Arguments stir resistance. People hate to be proven wrong verbally, but actions create undeniable results. Galileo avoided conflict with the church by cloaking his discoveries in metaphor, letting truth emerge indirectly. Instead of arguing for a raise, deliver results that force acknowledgement. Let your success be your argument. Law number 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Emotions are contagious. Associate with the miserable and their misery will infect you. Greene warns that some people are carriers of misfortune, not because of bad luck, but because their attitudes, habits, or decisions attract disaster. These people can drain your energy, sabotage progress, and pull you into their vortex. Surround yourself with high performers, optimists, and strategic thinkers. Avoid emotional vampires. Law number 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. The more someone needs you, the more control you have. This law is about leverage. If others can function without you, you become replaceable. But if you hold a unique key knowledge, connection, or talent, you control the gate. Greene tells of Chinese emperors who would promote eunuchs to key positions because they had no family ties and were entirely dependent on the throne. Develop niche skills, gatekeeper relationships, or critical systems. Be the person who cannot be removed without consequences. Law number 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One sincere move can cover dozens of dishonest ones. Use calculated honesty to distract or soften others. When someone appears candid or generous, we let our guard down. Greene shows how con artists use this, offering a gift or admission of fault to build trust before the sting. If you need to manipulate or pivot, a well-timed act of openness can make others lower their defenses. Law number 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. If you need assistance, don't rely on compassion or past favors. Instead, highlight how helping you benefits them directly. Human nature is inherently self-interested. Appeals to emotion may stir momentary sympathy, but it fades quickly. People are far more motivated by what they stand to gain. This is why appealing to self-interest, showing how your success is tied to theirs, produces better results. Greene tells the story of the Italian Renaissance artist Galileo. He once dedicated a scientific discovery to the Medici family, not out of gratitude, but with a clever twist. He named the moons of Jupiter after them. This flattery, wrapped in scientific glory, made the Medici patrons for life. When pitching an idea or asking for support, tailor your message to show how others benefit. Say, here's what's in it for you. Not please help me. Law number 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Knowing your rivals is crucial. Use social interaction to gather intelligence while remaining friendly and approachable. People reveal more than they realize when they feel comfortable. They share plans, fears, and weaknesses. Greene suggests that posing as a confidant allows you to uncover critical information, just as Cardinal Richelieu had spies in every noble court under the guise of friendship. In the workplace, social lunches or casual chats can reveal more than formal meetings. Learn to listen attentively and let others talk freely. Law number 15. Crush your enemy totally. Never leave your enemies with the chance to recover. A wounded enemy will seek revenge. Eliminate them completely. Mercy is risky. If your opponent still has the power to strike back, they will. Greene gives the example of Rome and Carthage. The Romans eventually razed Carthage to the ground because previous peace treaties only led to more wars. In business or politics, if you've defeated a rival, don't let them regroup. Close the door completely legally, reputationally, or financially. Law number 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much familiarity breeds contempt. Make yourself scarce at times to increase your perceived value. When you're always available, people begin to take you for granted. Strategic withdrawal creates mystery, longing, and intrigue. Greene uses the example of Talleyrand, who made himself scarce during key negotiations, making the French miss his strategic brilliance. Don't always be in every meeting or respond instantly to every message. Make your time feel precious. Law number 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability breeds comfort. If people can't anticipate your next move, they fear and respect you. Greene shows how generals, CEOs, and monarchs use erratic behavior to unnerve enemies or subordinates. The mere threat of an irrational move can prevent rebellion or manipulation. Don't let others map your behavior entirely. Occasionally act outside expectations to maintain the upper hand. Law number 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Isolation cuts you off from critical information, alliances, and support. Stay engaged and connected. Physical or social retreat may seem safe, but it makes you vulnerable. You miss the currents of change and leave yourself with fewer options. Louis XIV's court at Versailles was designed not for protection, but for information flow, keeping friends and foes close. Even in digital or remote work environments, stay plugged into office politics, industry trends, and informal networks. Law number 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. There are people with fragile egos, explosive tempers, or vindictive natures. Identify them early and avoid unnecessary provocation. Power involves people, and not all people respond the same way to insult or challenge. Greene tells of the Greek orator Demosthenes, who misjudged the tyrant Philip of Macedon and paid dearly. Before delivering blunt feedback or a hard truth, assess the person. Tailor your approach based on their temperament. Law number 20. Do not commit to anyone. Maintain independence. If you commit too early or too deeply to a cause, party, or person, you lose maneuverability. Powerful people play the field. They create mystery by withholding allegiance and gain influence by keeping their options open. Greene describes how Elizabeth I of England skillfully avoided marriage and alliances, leveraging her desirability for political advantage. Don't rush to declare loyalty to office factions, business deals, or movements. Stay flexible until the optimal time. Law number 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Pretend to be weaker or less intelligent than you are. It lowers others' defenses and reveals their arrogance. Greene shows how many strategists, from con artists to emperors, pretend to be naive or foolish to extract information, test loyalty, or manipulate outcomes. It's the art of strategic stupidity. In negotiations or meetings, sometimes downplay your knowledge. Let others overexpose their plans or underestimate you. Law number 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. When you're weaker, surrender temporarily. This buys time, frustrates your opponent, and can lead to future advantage. Greene illustrates this with stories of rebel leaders who avoided destruction by playing dead, only to rise stronger later. Passive resistance can be more powerful than confrontation. If a company dominates your niche, Don't fight head-on. Find a smaller, unguarded angle or wait until they stumble. Law number 23, concentrate your forces. Focus your energy and resources on a single goal or area of strength. Scattered effort leads to mediocrity. Power is built through concentrated effort. Greene tells of how Rockefeller dominated oil by focusing solely on that market, while others diversified too soon. Don't chase every opportunity. Master one domain before expanding. Law number 24, play the perfect courtier. The courtier wins through charm, discretion, and grace, not brute strength. Learn to thrive in hierarchical environments through subtlety. Courtiers navigate power with delicacy. They flatter without seeming insincere, disagree without offending, and serve while secretly advancing their own interests. Greene profiles Sir Walter Raleigh and Castiglione as masters of this art. In corporate environments, the courtier's skills are invaluable. Learn to influence with elegance, avoid gossip, and hide ambition behind loyalty. Law number 25, recreate yourself. Do not accept the roles society has imposed on you. Forge your own identity, one that commands attention and power. Greene emphasizes that power comes not from authenticity alone but from reinvention. You must become the author of your own persona, malleable, strategic, and compelling. Like actors on a stage, powerful individuals craft their image consciously. Julius Caesar styled himself not just as a leader but as a man of destiny. David Bowie constantly reinvented his artistic identity to stay influential and elusive. If you've outgrown your reputation, rewrite it, dress differently, speak differently, adopt a new title, shift industries, reshape your narrative so it serves your ambitions. Law number 26, keep your hands clean. Appear morally spotless by letting others do the dirty work. Use scapegoats or intermediaries to take the fall when necessary. All leaders eventually face unpleasant decisions. If those decisions damage your image, you risk losing the moral authority you've built. Greene highlights how kings and CEOs alike use fall guys or hatchet men to preserve their own reputations. Henry VIII executed ministers rather than stain his own hands with unpopular decisions. In leadership roles, shield yourself from backlash, delegate risky or controversial actions, and stay visibly detached when outcomes go poorly. Law number 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Tap into people's desire for meaning and purpose, offer a compelling vision or system, and they'll follow you with devotion. Humans crave certainty, belonging, and belief. Greene notes that by wrapping your leadership or brand in mysticism, confidence, and exclusivity, you create disciples rather than followers. Charles Manson, religious leaders, and even Steve Jobs used elements of this strategy, charisma, ritual, and identity to build devoted followings. Whether you're building a company, movement, or personal brand, embed it with values, mission, and exclusivity. Make your vision feel like a cause. Law number 28. Enter action with boldness. If you're going to act, do so with confidence and conviction. Hesitation is interpreted as weakness. Greene explains that timid actions invite challenge, while boldness creates momentum and admiration. History is filled with people who succeeded less because of brilliance and more because of audacity. Napoleon, Catherine the Great, and even startup founders who bet everything. When making a pitch, entering a negotiation, or launching a new initiative, project boldness. People are drawn to the confident and decisive. Law number 29. Plan all the way to the end. Look far ahead. Anticipate obstacles, consequences, and potential fallout before taking action. Impulsiveness is the enemy of strategy. Greene reminds us that most failures occur not from bad starts, but from bad finishes. The victorious know where the path ends before taking the first step. Alexander the Great's conquests were as much about long-term planning as battlefield prowess. Before starting a project, map out its stages. Ask, what could go wrong? What does victory look like? What happens afterward? Law number 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Conceal the toil and tricks behind your work. Appear natural, smooth, and unburdened. This is the law of sprezzatura, a Renaissance concept of studied carelessness. Making hard work look easy enhances your mystique and makes others admire your genius. If you sweat too openly, you reveal vulnerability. Don't complain publicly about stress, overwork, or confusion. Let others see the result, not the struggle. Law number 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Give people choices, but only ones that serve your interests. Greene likens this to the magician's trick. You think you have free will, but the outcome was predetermined. When you frame the options, you win regardless of their choice. Think of how political leaders offer two plans, both of which ultimately advance their own goals. In business or negotiation, always offer alternatives that lead to your desired outcome. Let them choose their path within the world you created. Law number 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often too painful or dull. Offer escape, illusion, or hope, and people will follow. Fantasy is more powerful than truth in many situations. Think of how politicians sell dreams, or how luxury brands sell not watches, but prestige. When you fulfill a desire, not just a need, you hold power. Whether marketing, leading, or entertaining, wrap your message in aspiration, sell the dream, not the product. Law number 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a fear, obsession, or insecurity. Find it, and you have influence over them. Power involves knowing what drives others. This thumbscrew may be hidden like a need for validation, a past trauma, or a secret ambition. Historical manipulators, from Rasputin to royal advisors, exploited such vulnerabilities with great effect. Observe carefully, ask indirect questions, listen more than you speak, use what you learn wisely. Law number 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Carry yourself with dignity and self-respect. The way you act sets the tone for how others treat you. People judge you based on your presentation. If you appear lowly, they treat you that way. If you radiate self-worth and calm authority, they elevate you. Greene writes about Christopher Columbus, who demanded royal treatment long before he achieved anything and eventually got it. Don't beg or diminish yourself. Speak with purpose, dress with intention, and move with confidence even if you're still rising. Law number 35. Master the art of timing. Timing is everything. Wait patiently for the right moment to act, and don't force events before they're ripe. Impulsive people waste energy and create resistance. Strategic individuals read the rhythm of events, then strike when the odds are in their favor. Think of Warren Buffett waiting for the market to come to him. Don't rush deals, decisions, or reactions. Observe, wait, and then act with precision. Law number 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. When you react emotionally to things beyond your control, you give them power. By ignoring them, you reclaim strength. If someone insults or rejects you, responding shows vulnerability. Greene urges restraint and detachment. Napoleon would often act as if the worst defeats were minor setbacks. In doing so, he preserved morale and mystique. When overlooked for a promotion, ghosted, or insulted, respond with indifference. Move on as if you're unaffected and you'll appear more powerful than ever. Law number 37. Create compelling spectacles. Dazzle with dramatic gestures and theatrical displays. Visuals and symbols captivate more than logic ever can. Humans respond viscerally to spectacle. Greene draws from royal courts, religious ceremonies, and political rallies to show how leaders command loyalty through pageantry. Louis XIV, for example, used elaborate rituals to awe courtiers and reinforce his divine status. People believe what they see. Use visuals, symbols, and dramatic timing to emphasize your power or message. Whether it's a product launch, keynote speech, or company rebrand, stage it like a show. Law number 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Conceal your unconventional views. Blend in, especially in conservative environments, to avoid unnecessary resistance. Innovation is dangerous when introduced too boldly. Greene highlights figures who suffered for challenging norms too openly, such as Socrates or Giordano Bruno. The wise disguise their beliefs and act within accepted codes until their power is secure. If you're working in a traditional corporate or cultural space, don't reveal radical ideas too soon. Align outwardly while gathering influence privately. Law number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Irritate or confuse your opponents to throw them off balance. Emotional people make strategic mistakes. When you provoke others, you gain psychological control. Greene tells of how generals and negotiators bait rivals into anger, clouding their judgment. Emotional turbulence leads to blunders. Intense meetings or negotiations, stay calm while others lose composure. You'll see their weaknesses exposed and stay in control. Law number 40. Despise the free lunch. What is offered for free is often worth less. pay your way, and be wary of those who dangle generosity. Power requires independence. Greene cautions against gifts, favors, or deals that seem too generous. They usually carry hidden obligations. Accepting them puts you in someone else's debt. The truly powerful pay for their freedom. Whether in business or personal life, avoid being beholden. Invest in yourself. When you pay, you control the terms. Law number 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. If you follow a legend, don't imitate them. Blaze your own path and make your name stand out. Successors often fail by trying to replicate their predecessors. King Louis XVIII, who tried to resurrect past glories, couldn't match Napoleon's myth. People expect something new. Reinvent, don't replicate. If you're filling a big role, whether at work or in public life, acknowledge your predecessor, but redefine the position in your own image. Law number 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Target the leader or source of unrest, not the crowd. Remove the influencer and the resistance crumbles. Movements, teams, and groups are often driven by one dominant personality. Greene uses examples from military and political history to show that neutralizing the core figure, often through exile, disgrace, or removal, disorients the followers. When resolving conflict in a team or community, identify the source. Dealing with them first simplifies the rest. Law number 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Coercion breeds resentment. Win hearts and minds, and people will gladly follow you. Greene argues that soft power, emotional influence, loyalty, and inspiration is more durable than fear. Leaders like Lincoln or Gandhi earned love, not just obedience. It's not manipulation, it's strategic empathy. Lead with vision and care. Understand others' dreams and fears. Influence becomes effortless when people want to follow. Law number 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Imitate your opponents to unsettle them. Mirroring creates confusion and reveals their weaknesses. Greene draws from warfare, debate, and psychological warfare. When people see themselves reflected, they're thrown off balance. It's like shadowboxing their ego. It exposes flaws and silences aggression. In conversation or negotiation, reflect others' behavior or language patterns subtly. It disarms and deflects. Law number 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People fear sudden change. Introduce reforms gradually and frame them as continuity, not rupture. Even if change is needed, people cling to the familiar. Package innovation in the clothing of tradition. At work or in society, lead change by tying it to values people already accept. Ease transitions with familiarity. Law number 46. Never appear too perfect. If you appear flawless, you provoke envy. Show minor flaws to appear relatable and reduce hostility. Excellence breeds admiration, but too much perfection breeds contempt. Caesar, Napoleon, and other greats strategically revealed human moments to soften envy and build loyalty. Don't hide every vulnerability. Be competent, but human. Let people see that you, too, struggle or falter. Law number 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for in victory. Learn when to stop. Know when to quit after success. Overreaching can reverse your fortunes. Greene points to examples like Alexander the Great, whose endless conquests eventually led to burnout and rebellion. Excess breeds decline. When you win, consolidate power, don't keep pushing. Close the deal, take the win. Know when to step back and enjoy the advantage rather than chase one too many victories. Law number 48. Assume formlessness. Adapt constantly. The most powerful people are fluid, unpredictable, and ungraspable. Rigidity is the enemy of survival. Greene ends with this ultimate law. Become like water, able to shift shape based on your surroundings. Bruce Lee's famous philosophy and the guerrilla tactics of elusive leaders mirror this law. The adaptable endure. In volatile markets, personal crises, or shifting relationships, don't cling to identity, plan, or pride. Stay flexible. Stay alive. Closing words. The Dance of Power in Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, we are handed a mirror not just to power, but to ourselves. These laws are not morality tales. They are strategies drawn from centuries of history, psychology, politics, and war. They are neither good nor evil. They're tools. Each law is a blade, sharp, precise, and potentially dangerous. But used wisely, they cut through confusion, manipulation, and stagnation. They allow you to see the battlefield clearly, whether it's a boardroom, courtroom, relationship, or revolution. But remember, true power lies not in domination, but in understanding, in seeing the forces at play, in knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to walk away. You don't need to use every law. In fact, trying to master them all may only tangle your mind. Instead, treat them as a deck of cards. Pull the right one when the moment calls. And as you rise, quietly or boldly, never forget Law 1. Never outshine the master. Or Law 48. Be formless. Float above the fray. Disappear when needed. Reappear transformed. Because in the end, power isn't a throne to sit on. It's a current. Those who feel it, who move with it, shape history. And now, so can you.